It's about tools used to scrape the data.
Yes, there is so much data there. And I went to your GitHub, which was just really prodigious, by the way. And how did you guys, what was the sequence of actions you took to scrape all of that data? That's question number one. And then my second question, if I may be so bold, was you were talking about the Louvain, something having to do with SNA. And while I love SNA and would like to hear about it, I don't know anything about Louvain anything. And if you could talk about what on earth that is and how you went about doing it and just deep dive into that, that would be great. And thank you. Really great presentation, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you, Elaine, for moderating and putting all this together. This is super awesome.
It's my pleasure. It's our pleasure, Tybee. Phil, your thoughts?
Great. So the first question about what tools you use to scrape the data. So I can link to the GitHub. I see the GitHub's linked, and I scrape with the scrapers in there. So using Python code and API access, you can write code to query like Twitter and extract that data down. And so our approach towards that was the Twitter public API. It limits you to 7 days and 4,500 requests every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So what that kind of limits us a little bit. So we had some workarounds. One, we had a timer on our script that at 14 minutes and 59 seconds would sleep for a little bit and then reboot right up, so that it could always be going, always be on, so that it was continually extracting data and streaming that data into a database ready for this analysis. The second part is that Twitter, you have to submit a query, and so in our query, we wanted to be very pointed, like what words we're going for and what hashtags we're going for. So that kind of is like an assumption that comes into this analysis, is that what words we want to go for. So we were actually just going for any tweets that even mention the word COVID-19 and a word vaccine. So we created two corpuses. One, any words around COVID-19, COVID-19, coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, and then another dictionary of any words that have anything to do with vaccines, vaccine, vaccination, shots, something like that. And so the tweet to get scraped had to have those two instances. It had to have COVID-19, had some that had to do some of the COVID-19, and had to mention something to do with vaccines. So that was vague enough to gather like a lot of diversity of opinion, as well as so we're not getting anything like random in there. And for Reddit data, we kind of had to do another route, because so Reddit, if people don't know, Twitter is kind of like this soapbox and everyone's in the same community. Reddit is like you're in a room with like-minded friends. And so we really want to do is we had to choose the rooms, the subreddits that we wanted to mine. And so we were deliberate about choosing the types of rooms that we thought offered diversity of opinion and relevance. So focusing on certain states that we thought there might be geographical difference, so we could do any trends to compare, the New York Reddit to the Indiana Reddit to the Texas Reddit to the Los Angeles Reddit. Cool. And we also went to some political ones, because we had a hypothesis that there's obviously a politically correlation with vaccine uptake. So we went to 20 different subreddit rooms and scraped any comments, any replies, any posts that mentioned the COVID-19 vaccine.